up, everybody? Let's get right into this. So these are my worst Shudder originals of 2025. Alright, first on our list is Shadow of God. So if you've been following this channel for a while now, you might know that possession films are probably my least favorite horror subgenre. Possession films have become very cliche, and it just seems like everyone that's writing these films or directing them have never actually been to a church, and they're just copy and pasting what the last movie did. You got someone being a contortionist, and you also got really bad CGI, and well, this movie does the exact same shit. Next on my list is Bloody Axe Wound, and honestly, the only thing I really remember about this movie was the nickname I gave it, Bloody Ass Wound. But yeah, if I remember correctly, this movie is about a real slasher that lives in this town, and he actually has a teenage daughter who wants to follow into his footsteps. Sounds kinda cool, right? But actually,
that was really stupid.
Creepbox actually isn't a bad idea maybe for a short 20-minute film, but they decided to take that 20-minute short film and stretch it out to an hour and 20 minutes, and it's very heavily padded with a lot of long stares at the camera, and characters taking long pauses and staring at nothing. And all I wanted to say was,
stop it!
Night Reaper was actually kind of like a murder mystery horror film, kind of like a Scream type of film, and it definitely had this cool 80s vibe kind of charm to it, and I was digging it. But kind of like halfway through the movie, the film lost me because it really felt like it was making it up as it went along, and it was kind of going nowhere. Ooh, Twin. The only thing I really remember about this film is that it wanted to be so deep. Like, it wanted to go so heavy with its metaphors, and it had no problem telling you what those metaphors were. I was like, man, this felt like hipster coffee shop horror. And I'm just like, hey man, just make a low budget entertaining movie first. Now, these next batch of horror movies are kind of something special because they are the most generic cookie cutter horror. Clown in the Cornfield is based off a series of books, and from what I'm hearing, that the books and the movie are not very similar. And out of all the clown horror movies I've ever seen, this movie is the least memorable out of all of them. House on Eden. This is another found footage horror movie that is actually created by real life horror creators on TikTok. This movie suffers from not having its own identity at all because it's borrowing from so many other horror films from the same subgenre. Like, this movie really feels like you took someone else's homework, erased their name, and wrote your name on it. And it kind of validates my theory on, have big TikTok creators actually ever watched a horror movie? Never. 825 Forest Road was directed by the same creator of Hell House LLC, and I am a big fan of those films. This movie was so generic, poorly acted, and it had me asking,
what is this shit?
Hell House LLC Lineage. I am a big fan of the first two films. They restored my faith in the found footage horror subgenre. But this movie right here?
Disappointed!
A very convoluted story, terrible acting. You could see the jump scares being set up. The movie was just complete, utter
bullshit.
Alright, honorable mention goes to The Jester 2. Now, the first movie I just basically called Dollar Tree Art the Clown. So I absolutely had little faith or any hope or any desire for them to make a sequel, but well, they did. But I will say, the second film was a lot better than the first film, but it's still not a good movie. And The Jester 2 is basically Dollar Tree version of Terrifier 2, so, well, there you go. Alright, so those are my worst Shudder originals of 2025. And if you want to see the actual reviews of those, most of those are actually in my short videos, so check them out there. Alright, have you seen any of these movies that I mentioned here? Did you like them? Did you hate them? Let me know in the comments. And I'm Mike the Movie Misfit, always reviewing or recommending Shudder originals every Saturday.
Saturday, Shudder Saturday!